Before I get into this video, I just want to say thank you to everyone on Instagram and in the FFT Discord server who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. Since it was my birthday yesterday, the 15th of January. And yeah, I just want to say thank you very much. It didn't really even feel like my birthday just because we can't really go anywhere. But the day I'm recording this, which is a Saturday, which is the 16th, I did just come back from an overnight trip to Leavenworth, which was really fun, which I'll just throw in a picture of that. But yeah, thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday. I really appreciated it. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. So the last time that I have updated the macroalgae tank was a month ago, which was actually the setup video, and in my 2020 ending tour of all my tanks, I said the tank was actually down and in operation since I was going to be doing some renovations, you could say, to the tank. Well, the tank is back up and there's some pretty exciting updates, so let's get right into that. So here we are in front of the macroalgae tank, or what I call it is the 5-gallon tank, and there has been a lot of changes to the tank. Well, there's good news and bad news, and I guess I'll start with the bad news first. And the bad news is that there is pretty much no more macroalgae in here anymore. So the short story is the Dragon's Breath, while there was some red coming back, and while the Kato Grow was doing its job, and it was growing slowly but surely, I just decided not to waste a whole bottle of Kato Grow and a whole bottle of Neo Nitro on pieces that were pretty much already dead. So I decided to just scrap all the macroalgae. And that's pretty much the only bad thing about this tank. Besides some algae on the glass, which you can see, which is being solved shortly, everything has been going pretty well. And let's get on to the good news. So the good news is that I have changed up the rockscape. I believe I mentioned this in the first setup video of this tank, which was also pretty much the last video of this tank, is that I wanted to change up the rockscape, since the rock that was originally in here was just one piece of 5-pound rock. So I ended up placing an order with BRS, and I asked for assorted pieces of 4 pounds, and they hooked me up and got me assorted pieces, and this is what the scape looks like now. So since this is kind of a peninsula style tank, with this being kind of the front that I can see from my bed, this way being that I can see from when I'm working on schoolwork, and this way when you can see kind of when you walk in the door, this is what I wanted the scape to look like, as I wanted it to look like good on all 3 sides. So we have it like that, and as you can see, there is a small hole in the center, which I'm either going to fill with macroalgae or a mangrove, since I've seen a lot of people use mangroves and I think they look pretty awesome, and they also help with nutrient export, so that's pretty cool. And the light is actually a little higher up in the tank, so mangrove has plenty of space to grow, so I think I will end up going with a mangrove for the middle. And if it looks out of place and just ordinary or just not ordinary looking, then I can always move it. But the other piece of good news is that there are corals in this tank, and as you can see, I'll strap on the macro lens soon, but there is a yellow finger, a yellow finger and a red finger Rogonian, and I got these about 2 weeks ago now, I believe, from Worldwide Corals when they were having a sale on their stuff for, I believe, New Year's, and the Gorgonians were more than half off, since they normally sell them for $30 a frag, and I got both of these for $14 each, and they're not fully exposed right now. The yellow one only has a 1 polyp open that I can see, and the red one only has the bottom polyps open. So I'll throw in some macro shots and some macro b-roll of when the corals were actually fully open for about the first week, and then this week they kind of just stayed closed most of the time. And from what I've heard, that just means that they're going to shed, and shedding with Gorgonians means that they produce a layer of mucus that comes off after a while, ends up removing all the algae and detritus off it, since if you let that build up for a long time, it can actually kill the coral. But these two have been pretty much fine. The red one has a little bit of algae on it, but I have been scraping it off. And with that out of the way, let's just get into some macro shots. So these gorgonians are non-photosynthetic, or NPS. So I've been just feeding them a couple times a week with live baby brine shrimp, and what you see right here, which look like white aptasia, is actually their polyps. And each polyp has an individual mouth that goes to the coral itself, and I will put a picture up of what that actually looks like, since I actually caught a picture of it, which is really awesome. And I think you can kind of see it on video. It's like a clear part, and then there's a white tube or stick in the middle that is leading to the coral, not chordal. And yeah, this is just kind of my two gorgonians in here. Let's move over to the yellow one. These have been doing okay, I would say. Like I mentioned before, they have been closed for almost a whole week. But actually this part over here, these two other branches were just open a while ago, but I think when I turned on the light, I kind of scared the coral. But yeah, this is the only stocking in here for now, but is going to change very, very soon, as the day I'm recording this, which is the 16th, tomorrow, which is a Sunday, I should be going to Seattle Corals again, and I'm going to be picking up some cleanup crew for this tank. I'm hoping to aim for some Nassarius snails and Astrea snails to deal with the sand and the glass, and if I do end up getting them, I'll throw a B-roll in here right now. But as you can see, the glass was dirty and there's some buildup on the sand, just like right there, which both those snails will help with those issues. But you can also see a different angle of the scape, and someone told me that this actually looks pretty natural, and I didn't notice at first, but I have to say it kind of does as well, without any biasness, of course. But I might think of a name for this tank as well. You know, King Tide Corals has his macro shoreline tank, and considering how these rocks are angled and they kind of all make a slope down to the center, I might call this the Macro Mountains maybe, or Fire Hill. And when I when I mean Fire Hill is I'm planning on getting more of the Dragon's Breath, or Dragon's Hill would actually be pretty cool. And this is actually a part that I forgot to mention, is that after I pulled out all the Dragon's Breath, I didn't realize that some healthy parts of it have actually attached itself to the rock. As you can see, this part right here, that is a piece of Dragon's Breath, and it still has that deep red color, which means it's healthy, and it's actually growing. If you can see, I can throw in a picture of what it looked like a while ago, but it's actually been growing, and you can see noticeable growth. But the other thing here is some hair algae building up. While I haven't had the light on itself, there is a window over here, and it is just getting kind of some sunlight during the day, so you can see some hair algae right there, and I believe another piece of healthy Dragon's Breath. But I do plan on getting more Dragon's Breath, since I do have the materials now, such as the Kato Grow and the Neonitro, as well as sources of producing phosphate and nitrate, which the macros use to grow, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But you can kind of see the different peaks in this scape, I would say. This part right here will be the smaller one. This is like the medium, and this, where the corals are, is the higher peak. But there's actually a little tunnel right here, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this is just a really quick overview of the scape. But I am also making an equipment upgrade, as the pump on this tank, I'm not sure if it's just gotten weaker or it broke. Well, it didn't break. I believe it's either gotten weaker, or I just never noticed how, little of flow it produces. So the flow in this tank is very low, which I guess is good for if you want to keep a beta fish or a pea puffer in here, since they do like the slower moving current. But for Gorgonians like this, you definitely want the higher flow, which is why I actually ordered a Haiger mini pump or mini wave maker, which I'll probably put towards the back right here just because it doesn't really interfere with the kind of front parts of the tank. But from what I've seen, that is a pretty strong wave maker for tanks 3 to 20 gallons, it seems. So that'll definitely do a better job than the pump on here. And as you can see, I try to disperse the flow between the two Gorgonians so that they'll get flow or strong flow, but it's not direct, which is what they like. But that's pretty much everything that has been updated in this tank. And now I'm going to move on to the most exciting part that might actually happen this week with this tank. So let's get into that. So it is not just going to be the Gorgonians and the snails in here very soon, and I actually ordered quite a lot of animals for this tank, and I guess it personally, what to you means quite a lot, but considering I haven't ordered them yet, I'm still waiting on something to come in, but I've ordered 4 different animals, but in the whole order I've actually ordered 6 things, and I'll just go ahead and say what they are. I haven't exactly ordered yet. I do plan on ordering a goby of some sort. I'm not gonna say what it is right now, but a goby, and the rest are basically invertebrates and a plant. And I'm getting all these from Live Aquaria just because they're the only place that has them in stock right now. And I think this tank is ready for stocking. The only thing I'm waiting for, and I'll just go ahead and say it, is a shrimp slash a crab of some sort. I do want both, but I'm just waiting for either of them to come in. Since actually, funny story, yesterday, which was my birthday, I was waiting for Divers Den to update since I did see the shrimp that I want for this tank on the list, and I was about to buy it, but someone else bought it before me since it is a what you see is what you get item, and I ended up seeing the same species of shrimp that was uploaded onto the site yesterday still available. So I tried my fastest to get it checked out, but since I was on the road and the internet was spotty, it took a while for the page to load, and the second I was about to check out, someone literally 3 seconds before me checked out with the shrimp. 3 seconds. Oh man. I was a little devastated since the goby that I was going to get actually just went out of stock today, but I have seen them get it in a little bit more right now, so I hope it comes in stock this week or next week so I can actually order everything, since I am trying to get free shipping and I would really hate to pay for 2 orders and 2 separate shipping at a time. Since no shade to Live Aquaria, but you know, shipping is $30. That's pretty common at places, but they also include a box fee, which is $10, which I just find pretty dumb. But thankfully, it's just the box fee covers all the boxes you get, and not the box fee for just 1 box. So you'd have to pay, let's say, $20 for 2 boxes. But then I also live in Washington, so there's tax on top of that. So really trying my best to get free shipping, and hopefully if everything lines up perfectly and everything comes in stock this week, next week, we should have a lot of animals in this tank very soon. And it's stuff that I've been wanting for a very long time, and I'm very excited about it. The shrimp, they get that in pretty regularly, so I'm pretty sure if I'm fast enough, we should be able to get stocking in here very soon, possibly that week. The crab, I would say, is probably the hardest thing to find, just because the color variation that I'm looking for is the most uncommon of, I believe, the 3 colors that it comes in, or that you can find it in. So that might take a while, but the shrimp, the goby, and the invertebrates and the plant that I'm getting for this tank hopefully should be coming next week. And with that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed the update of the macroalgae tank and what's been going on with it. So let's move on to some smaller updates on the other projects I have in progress right now. So for some of the smaller updates, we have the jellyfish tank, and I have been talking with Travis a bit since it's been about maybe 2 weeks, I would say, since he told me that he would try and start a culture up again. And the good news is that he has the tank ready and the jellyfish are in that tank, so hopefully they start breathing soon. But the bad news is I don't really think that we'll get jellyfish in the tank by the end of the month. Hopefully next month, which seems more like a reasonable time frame, as I'm not sure how long it takes for the polyps of the jellyfish to become an actual jellyfish, and then they have to grow out a bit more before he can ship them. So it's kind of like a good news and bad news situation. So no jellyfish for now, but he is starting to breed them, and hopefully February is a more reasonable time frame. But if it somehow is possible, we could get jellyfish in the tank by the end of the month, but I really don't see it. So February is pretty much the month that we will get jellyfish in the tank. Now the next bit of short news is on the flashlight fish tank, and it's pretty exciting actually. So I found out that Marine Depot and Bulk Resupply, some of the biggest aquarium retailers, actually sell the Innovative Marine tanks, just the tank only. Since if you go to the Innovative Marine website for the bigger tanks, such as I would say 30 gallons and up or 40 gallons and up, you actually have to buy the tank with the stand. So you would have to buy the tank with the APS stand, and you would have to pay for them both. But what I found out, like I mentioned before, is that BRS and Marine Depot actually sell them just with the tank, and just compare the price that Innovative Marine sells the tank and the stand for to just the tank only. So what I found is that they're actually in stock right now. The certain tank I want, which is the Innovative Marine 100 INT, is actually in stock right now, so they are getting them in. So my plan is to actually build my own stand out of 2x4s and just nails. I'm sorry, screws and 2x4s, which I believe should only be maybe less than $100. And I'm just gonna go off the dimensions that they have for the APS stand, and just do it myself. So if I go this route, I should be saving possibly almost $500, which is insane. And that $500 is going to go through other equipment such as a sump and plumbing. So the flashlight fish tank, and it's only January as well, and I've also started saving up. I've set money aside for the jellyfish and for the flashlight fish tank, and I already have the money for the jellyfish, and the flashlight fish tank is slowly coming up. So this looks very, very doable this year, which I'm super excited about if you can't hear my voice. So although it's possible we might not get the... Actually, you know what? It actually might be possible we might get fish this year, since I believe I explained it in one of my past videos, but in Jay Hemdahl's article that he did for Coral Magazine, which I wasn't allowed to show it before, is what the Toledo Zoo sent me, since they actually sent me a free copy of it. But he posted the same thing on Reef to Reef, which is a saltwater fish farm, or not saltwater fish, just a saltwater farm in general. I believe it's one of the biggest, and I'm pretty sure I can show this legally now, but the most common time the flashlight fish are collected is between October and December. So if everything goes to plan and I can actually get the tank set up and cycled and the quarantine tank set up and cycled within that time frame, we might actually complete the tank this year, and I'm super excited for that, since now it's looking very doable within my budget. So that's just a short update on that. And the next update is production quality. So right now I just film all my stuff with my S10 and a gaming headset that I actually got a new one for my birthday. Since the one I'm currently recording on right now, the right side is actually broken. I mean, I can still hear sound from it, but it's just super awkward to wear. And I got a new headset, so I currently use that one, but the mic on it, I tested it out, it's just not up to the same par, or it's not as clear. If you go back to some of my older videos where I filmed with my Galaxy Buds, it's kind of in the middle between the headset I'm using right now and the Galaxy Buds, so it's not as clear as this one, but it's a little better than the Galaxy Buds. But I'm probably just gonna stick to the broken headset since it actually has the best mic somehow. But this actually, I want to dedicate this part to camera quality, since my parents actually found out that we can trade in our phones and actually upgrade almost for free. Actually, we just have to pay tax to the new Galaxy S21, which is really insane since I thought I was going to have this phone for through high school basically. I've had it for 2 years now. But upgrading is going to be super cheap since it's a trade-in. And I believe my dad said that taxes for all three, from my dad, my mom, and I, is only about $350. And considering the phones are what I've seen right now, $800, that's a really good deal. So camera quality is going to be up, which means that video and photo quality will be up. And pairing that up with the Orphic kit with the macro lens, this channel is going to get a big boost of film quality. And what this means for me is that I'll probably lay off getting the DSLR camera for a while, which I mean the DSLR is probably still better than the phone cameras since you really can't beat the phone cameras. I'm sorry, you can't really beat the actual cameras with phone cameras, but the S21 camera has a lot of the features I was looking for, such as better video quality and to zoom in more. So I might take this with me hopefully next year to California for the Monterey Bay Aquarium's new full-scale deep sea gallery, which is I'm super hyped for that. So I'll test it out. They don't ship the phones out until February unless I believe you got a pre-order or they sent you one early. But February is looking like a really good month. We have the jellyfish coming, a huge boost in production quality, and 2021 is already looking like a super fantastic year for this channel. I really hope I just didn't jinx it, but yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. I just wanted an update on the macroalgae tank and some quick updates on the jellyfish tank, the flashlight fish tank build, and the production quality of this channel. So my name is Northwest Fishkeeping, and I'll see you in the next one.